Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's an important episode if you're wanting to improve your boxing, you're wanting to land your hands more. We are talking about what you can do with minimal effort. We're not talking about punching faster or throwing longer combos. We're talking about what you can do with minimal effort to land. And we're talking about setups, how to set things up, but more importantly, what to look for in your opponent, what mistakes we can see to take advantage of. This is very, very detailed. It can be utilized for beginners or intermediates, but anybody who's more advanced, who's looking to level up with their hands, this is for you as well. So if somebody came to me and they said, I want to land more of my punches. I'm going in and I'm throwing 100 punches per round, but I only feel like 10 of them are landing clean. A lot of people would go, maybe you're not punching fast enough. Maybe you're not throwing fantastic combos that are mixing up heights and angles of attack. But the next thing I would go to is, are you watching your opponent and looking for errors in the way they block or openings when they go to block something? So we're going to start off and we're going to talk about a very simple way of opening up the lead hook. How do I open that lead hook up? If somebody has their hands here, it's definitely not open. You go to throw the lead hook, minor adjustment. What we can do, however, is feed the jab out. We feed the jab either once or twice right to the forehead where they actually get hit, or once or twice where they parry. If they parry, what I'm looking to assess is how far does their hand come across their face, and if it drops at all. If somebody parries like this, right away I go, okay, I'm faking. As soon as they reach, I'm gonna come to the left hook. If they come across and they stay there a little too long or they go a little too deep on their parry, maybe the shoulders really rotate, I go that ear or that side of the head is open for an extended period of time, as opposed to somebody who parries just like that. That, if they do, it will not work. The jab hook, it's not going to land. But either of the other ones where somebody goes down or too far across, you feed the jab, you feed the jab, you fake the jab halfway out, pull it back part way, and then bring it around. From the side, that would look something like this. It's part way out, pull it back, and around the side. If you're trying to gain maximum power, you're going to fake draw all the way back and hit with full power. If you're just going for a little tap, like 50%, you can actually just go here and wrap right around and still land with a decent amount of power and shock your opponent, especially if you can pinpoint that jaw. And when we're talking about all these setups, we need to keep in mind that like what we just did makes sense, because we're attacking a point where somebody exposes themselves and now I go to that exposed area. Very often, if you throw, let's say you throw a jab at me and you're like, oh, the next shot's gonna be an overhand. Well, this hand hasn't moved, so I'm not really compromised in that way. We're looking for easy ways to compromise our opponent's defense. The next one that I like to use, which is a little bit scarier for the person being offensive, but is actually very effective, and we see Canelo use this all the time. It can come one of two ways, either uppercut to left hook or left hook to uppercut. Both of these are fantastic because when you throw the uppercut, if the person gets hit, boom, their reaction is going to be cover up, open the body. If you catch them to the body or they block, they're going to leave that hole up the middle. So you could set up in any way you want, 1, 2, and then rip to the body and then come up the middle, or you could be setting up down the middle, come with the uppercut to open the arms up, or have them, close the arms, and then I come down to the body. Both of these are fantastic off the same arm because I'm switching angles so dramatically and I'm finding what is compromised due to the earlier shot. The next one that I very often like to utilize is coming off across to the body and looking, when I cross the guy to the body, is he overcommitting with the drop? If he overcommits, that means this is completely open. Not necessarily for a straight punch. It's not like I'm gonna go, okay, he's covering down low, so now I'm gonna come up high because most likely this hand is up the middle. But the overhand is ripe for the taking. 1, down low. 2, down low. Drop your weight. If you see them go, then from this position, 1, 2, drop, swing over top. It is such an easy way to land a simple overhand, and it's not like you just have to jump in and go, oh, I hope it lands. You know it's gonna land because on those first couple of crosses, you saw them make a mistake. Oh, they go like that. Or maybe they're just using one arm, as they probably should, but they're coming too low, or they're going too far across. Anything with overcommitment on the hands, there's something to take advantage of on this particular one. Cross to the body, fake, and a big overhand works like a charm. The final thing I want to touch on, and this is more uncommon because a lot of people don't like coming with a right hook or a rear hook. They feel, at least when I've talked to people, they go, I feel really compromised in this position. But what you can try and do sometimes is lengthen out your punch. So instead of me thinking, okay, the target's right here and I'm gonna come in and throw with that perfect 90-degree angle, I can come further away and just kind of slap and land with this area as opposed to this area. Once I've done that 2 or 3 times to somebody, I jab, I slap, I jab, I slap. If they start getting scared of this, they will start pulling that hand back to really either grab the back of their head or to make sure they guard up really tight. That will generally leave them open up the middle. For me to come from here and back to there, they're gonna be covered up already. But I can come from one and then right up the middle again. The right hook to jab or rear hook to jab works surprisingly well. You just need to have confidence that when you throw here, you're covered and then straight up the middle. Again, it's not something that you have to throw without a setup. You might want to set up a couple times and hit and then jab. But finishing with that is fantastic, whether you do initial punches or not. Now those are the 4 setups that I want to talk with you about today. Before we sign off, and I go and teach my next class, I just want to remind everybody that these take time to drill before you get to sparring. If you just go, okay, I watched the episode, I'm going to go and try them, and you're not successful, well, that doesn't surprise me. But if you go to the bag, especially if there's a fake involved, like the very first one where you pump the jab out, pump fake, if you go and practice it and you get really good, maybe film it from the side and go, oh, it looks like I'm actually trying to land that jab, like I really believe it's coming, then your opponent will believe it's coming. But if you kind of go, or you don't really commit, maybe you're fast, but you're not committing with your shoulder, people won't believe you. And then they won't reach to block, and then the hook is not there. So take some time, drill on your own, watch yourself in the mirror, go, does it look like it's gonna work? Is it believable? And if it is, then you start executing and sparring. If you do all that, I truly believe you will land at least one of these 4 setups, which I've given you today. All of them won't work for you, most likely, because these are just 4 that work for me. There's so many others, but I just showed you my favorites. So that is it, guys. I gotta run. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, give it a like. If you have not already, join the channel, get subscribed. I will see you back here soon for another episode.